Hello and welcome to tonight's video as we continue comparing the teams heading to MSI 2026. First series is going to take place in about 24 hours. My predictions will be out some point tomorrow before that series begins. The predictions for that will be out tomorrow morning, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll do the video now for the T1 TL series. So we have team stats on here. Win rate, KD ratio, gold, spent differential, Drake percentage, Baron percentage, lane CS differential, jungle CS differential. All stats I talked about during the team preview videos. We're just comparing them and looking at them. Who's the best, who's the worst. Keep in mind LPL, LCK are above the other regions. But win rate wise, we see BLG still leading along with Team Secret Wales and Furia. What does that mean? BLG are dominating the LPL just as much as these two are dominating their respective regions, which we would consider to be lower regions. Top Esports 56%, TL 60, DCG 55. Second seeds, not a shock there. Kill death ratio, BLG, Team Secret Wales, Furia once again doing very well. Lower end of things, Top Esports actually have died more than they have gotten kills this season. Before anyone says, oh, well, they've made roster changes. Yes, they have. And we saw in winter them do very well until Nayu decided he would rather get paid by whatever other sources and throw some series and playoffs. DCG 1.06 at the lower end of things as well. Gold spent differential, same three teams, BLG, TSW, Furia, doing well, taking their gold and actually spending it, because a gold lead and a gold difference, it means only so much. It's how much you spent. Lower end of things, Top Esports actually giving up more gold than they have received. TL and TCG also not all that dominant this season. Drake percentage. Who prioritizes Drake the most? We see KC 59%, DCG and Furia 58 and 59% as well. Lower end is Top, T1, and Lion, around 51 to 52%. So not quite as much Drake priority out of these three teams. We'll see at this event if they change that. It is better to have more than less, of course. Baron percentage. HLE 72%, the most on the board. They take more Barons than anyone else in terms of, Barons on the Rift. 72% of the Barons taken in their games are theirs. BLG 71, Furia 71. So expect these teams to prioritize Baron Nashor. Top Esports 55%, DCG 55%. That's significantly less. We see Drake only about 7%. But Baron, we're looking at like a 17% difference in terms of priority and achieving the Baron. Lane CS differential. BLG average about a 0.6 CS lead, 0.6% lead, which isn't all that much. Laning wise, really not quite as widespread as the jungle role. T1 and KC also doing well in lane. The teams that kind of struggle, Lion, G2, and Furia. G2 actually even at 15 minutes. The only one on the board that are even, actually it's not 15 minutes, I think it's a total game, in CS differential for mid. For lane. The jungle role. BLG really helps their jungler get ahead, 3.4. Team Secret Wales, 3.9. Their jungler is doing very well in terms of CS differential. Lower end, TL and Top Esports, not quite as much priority in the early game in terms of jungle CS. You also see here TL and Top 0.4, 0.4. They're not super strong anywhere in the early game, and for TL, they have their work cut out for them at this event. They really do. There are other teams lower than 0.4. 0.4 is middle of the road, but usually you give a little bit to take somewhere else, and you combine this 0.7, that is the lowest on the board. Not really all that dominant in the early game, and TL, in my opinion, are going to struggle because of it. In terms of who is the best, you have BLG at 4, HLE at 2.1. So yeah, 4, 4.1 for TSW. TSW are very strong in the early game. We'll see how they do at this event. I am excited to see how the LCP plays because a lot of people are doubting them for some reason. So that's it for some stats. Now on to other stats. Here we have all the teams and the team leaders in kill participation, damage share, and gold share. We're looking at how they may differ. And you see on here a lot of light blue for support, green for jungle, orange for mid, blue, not light blue, but blue for AD carry, and then the least is this maroon color for top lane. So in kill participation, most teams, I mean, it's some combination of support, jungler, and then mid or AD carry. Who's getting the priority in terms of involvement? Are they going mid, or are they focusing bot lane? So in the case of the teams that prefer having their mid laner involved, it's BLG, G2, TL, Dire, and DCG, where the rest are in favor of the AD carry. But something that is unique about this is these two teams. So actually, everybody's leader is a support except Team Liquid and TSW, as Jose actually has a slight KP lead over Core JJ. They both round to 76, but Jose is like 76.4 and Core is like 73 something. And then his tote, 73%, clearly leading the way for Team Seeker Whales in involvement. You see Furia here, 79 and 77, 71. They're the only team. Yes, they're the only team on the board with their first three players being above 70%, indicating they very much fight around each other. You aren't getting a ton of kills elsewhere relative to everyone else. So just something to think about here. Lower end of things, Kalist, Guma, Jaculov, the support and jungler go around the rift and spread out the wealth. In terms of damage share, every team, the AD carry leads. The AD carry is what's making things happen in damage. It ranges from the high 20s to about 30%. Berserker at 30% actually leads the way. So, like I said during the Lion video, and I said during the AD carry video, Berserker is the one that is doing the heaviest lifting from the AD carry position at this event. But something that is unique is T1 and Team Seeker Whales here. You see that actually the second most damage share is coming from top. So Pun over Faker and Pun over Dire. Those two are the ones making things happen in the damage department. And then just trying to see here, 54, 54, 51, 52, 3, 2, 5, 4, 2. So this team, Lion, no surprise because of Berserker's damage, but it's Berserker and Saint. They're doing the heaviest lifting as well. When you look at the top two damage dealers on these teams, they're the least spread. And it's because Inspired has one of the lowest damage shares out of any jungler at this event and in the world in general. So that's a thing. So the two unique teams in that way are T1 and Whales. And then in terms of gold, who's getting the most gold? Well, it's the AD carry, the mid laner, except for two teams. Two teams it doesn't go that way. BLG do not even have the jungler in the top three. Bin has a higher gold share than Shun, and that is the only team that doesn't have a jungler in the top three. And then the other unique team is actually Furia, where Tatu is second in gold share over Toots. And really, 45 there for, you see 45, 27, 27, 27. So you look at 45 here, HLE have the least amount of damage gold share from their two top gold share leaders. And that's because of Kanavi with 21% and then Zeus as well with a high gold share. The gold is spread out more evenly on that team. But, 3% difference, 4% difference in terms of share differential and what you're providing the team in damage in this current meta. And share differential is important. You see Viper at nearly 4%, Berserker at 5%. Um, these guys are giving their team the most in terms of return. So there's not many teams that are overly unique at this event. Historically, we had teams like GAM, and we had well, Koi, where top laners ended up dealing a lot of damage and having involvement on these boards in a little different manner. But this one, it is pretty much 80 carries and mids, and then supports and jungles are the ones doing the work, which is normally the case. But you have rarities. KT with BDD last year, he was, I think, led the team in kill participation, which was rare. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hopes again tomorrow.